In the name of Jacques Eloi Desmondes, in the name of his brother Philippe, in the name of Victoire, le Comte Desmondes, and la Comtesse Gabrielle, I entreat you to reveal to us the exact nature of the crime for which we are being punished. With the sound of time, show us who we must deliver from our midst. Show us the evil outsider who brings dissension upon the Desmonds.
Laszlo was right. It does come from the portrait.
What do you mean?
He said the sound came from that picture.
The stars are right. The time is right. We must proceed. Place your hand over mine. Come, my child. Only the pure in heart could rid us of the evil influences of this forgery. Don't be alarmed, my dear.
But what does it mean?
I don't know yet. Except the mark knows us to be its adversaries and is trying to escape us.
Emily, I thought you were asleep.
I was, but I woke up suddenly, as if someone had called my name. What are you doing?
We're trying to make sense out of this document you brought to us.
I hope you have better luck than I've had. I've tried to figure it out over and over again. The mark. It's gone.
Just now, it vanished.
But that was the crucial thing on it. That's what I searched for the document for, to identify that mark.
It doesn't want to be identified. That's why it's gone.
Then something must have driven it away. But what?
Susan did. That's why she came here. Isn't that right, my dear?
I don't know.
She needs a quiet, private place to work.
Well, what must I do?
Take it to your room. Keep it with you. And study it. Let it take your mind back as far as it will go. Until the door to the past is open for you. Help her. See if your books can find the clue that she needs.
Mr. Desmond, you didn't answer my question before.
What question?
Well, why did Laszlo say the sound came from the portrait?
He was wrong. It came from my watch.
Well, why does Laszlo hear it?
He'll never hear it again.
Why did you say the man that claims to be my grandfather?
What proof has he given you? What do you know about him?
What do we know about you, for that matter?
My past is no secret.
Isn't it?
What are you driving at? What have you got there?
Oh, just some copies of some coroner's reports and some obituary notices of Sylvia Carlton Thaxton.
Where did you get them?
I got them, that's all you have to know.
How long have you had them?
Long enough, I just waited until they became useful.
They don't prove anything.
Don't they? Mrs. Thaxton, the former Sylvia Carlton, was found slumped over her wheel of their automobile, a suicide note in the empty bottle of barbiturates on the seat beside her.
She'd been ill for months.
Mr. Thaxton arrived home this morning to find her body.
It was suicide. The coroner testified.
And would he have testified the same if he had found my mother in the room today? With a suicide note and an empty bottle of poison beside her.
Are you accusing me?
If one wife dies of mysterious circumstances, it could be called a tragic accident. But how many deaths is one husband allowed before the mystery can become clear?
You can't prove anything against me.
Maybe not. But I'm going to try.
What are you going to do?
Oh, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to take you downstairs so that you can explain yourself.
I'll do nothing of the kind.
Don't think I won't use this. This could be called suicide after attempted murder.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh, I would dare. I'd like to. But I want to find out what happened to your late wife and why you attempted to murder my mother. Now move!
Come in.
You're going to have a visitor in a moment. I'd like to be here.
What visitor?
Laszlo. He's on his way to you.
But you told me that he was in the secret room.
Court's bringing him here. I'll hide behind the drapes. Get rid of Court.
My stepfather has something to explain to you.
How did you know I wanted to see him?
I heard you talking to my mother.
I see. Now give me the gun. Court, don't be foolish. Give me the revolver and wait downstairs. I'll handle Laszlo in my own way.
I'd keep it pointed on him if I were you.
Well, what explanation do you have for yourself?
I have nothing to explain.
Not even about this?
What's that?
The note that you forged saying Ada was taking her own life.
I've never seen it before.
Never seen any of these?
No.
I see. They just appeared out of the air when you went to have your little chat with Ada. Stop lying, Laszlo.
I'm not lying.
Someone is.
Why don't you ask the old man who pretends to be her father?
Oh, what should I ask him?
Why did he take her to that room in the first place?
To protect her from you.
And why did he trick me into going there?
If he did, he probably had a very good reason.
No, that's not true. He sneaked back in that room, bringing that evidence with him. He was going to kill Ada and blame it on to me. He tried to kill me, too, with a knife. He was going to kill both of us.
Then how would he blame you?
Then he'd have put the blame on you. With Ada dead and me, too, who would protect you against him?
Really, my good fellow, I cannot permit my name to be maligned in that fashion.
I won't stay.
It doesn't seem as though you have a choice.
He's a demon from another world.
We are as others see us, that's all. Jean-Paul, leave him with me.
No, don't. He'll kill me. I will not stay in this room with him. Get out of the way or I'll shoot.
Put that gun down.
Not till he leaves the room.
In that case, I don't have much choice, do I? Do you think I can't follow you anywhere? Do you think you could ever escape me?
You see? What did I tell you? He's not human.
and found nothing, but I guess we'll just have to look through them again. Oh, Julian said he found a book that had information in it. I wonder where he put it.
Emily, I think it's best if we don't go any further with this.
Why, Susan? What's the matter?
Well, I've liked being here better than any other place I've ever been in my life.
And we've loved having you.
And soon it'll be over.
No, it won't.
As soon as we find the clue to this Desmond curse, and I'll leave forever.
Well, we won't let you leave.
You don't understand. Whichever star triumphs, my term is done here.
You make it sound as though it were a sentence that had been passed upon you.
Well, in a way, yes, it is.
Oh, don't say that. Don't even think it.
Oh, Emily, if I could just be like you. If I could just lead the same kind of life that you lead.
Jean-Paul and I will always have a place here for you at Desmond Hall. We would never have found our happiness together if it hadn't been for you. Do you know that?
Some people bring happiness to other people only by bringing sorrow upon themselves.
Well, don't brood about it. We've got work to do. That isn't, unless you don't want to.
I've never done what I want to do. Only what I must.
You seem worried, Court.
I didn't hear you come in.
You wouldn't have heard me if I'd been accompanied by a brass band. You were lost in thought. What's the matter, Court?
Oh, I just promised my mother that I'd make sure Laszlo was out of the house by the time she woke up this morning.
He will be. Jean-Paul and I will take care of it. I promise you.
Watch out for him, Grandfather. He hates you.
He doesn't even know me.
He doesn't think you're human. He thinks you're pretending to be my grandfather.
Do you believe that?
Well, you did try to kill him.
Laszlo is subjected to what we used to call fits. I think you call them hallucinations. He sees things that aren't there. He hears what no one else hears. In short, he's being driven mad.
Driven? By who?
My boy, people aren't driven mad by other people, only by themselves. The guilt is in their minds, the deceit and betrayal that they've practiced on other people.
You know a lot about these sort of things.
Well, I've spent many years in mental clinics. Didn't your mother tell you that?
No, she just mentioned hospitals, that's all.
I've spent much of my life among people whose minds will not tolerate the memory of their actions. Laszlo's not unusual. He's a sick man, driven by demons of deceit and greed and acquisition.
You sound as if you almost feel sorry for him.
All God's creatures deserve our pity, especially when their punishment is upon them.
Don't pretend you didn't see it as I did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was there one moment and then he disappeared.
Nonsense. He went through that door like anybody else.
No, he didn't. He vanished into thin air.
Laszlo, your mind is giving way.
Oh, I don't expect you to believe me or playing games with me. That's becoming clear now.
I hardly can expect clarity from a deranged mind.
Stop saying that.
What kind of a mind would try to do what you tried to do tonight?
You're the one who's sick. You were sick the night you came in this house screaming from your bed about visions, going down into town in the middle of the night to...
To what, Laszlo? Continue.
You killed Annie Harrigan.
I did not.
And Agatha Pruitt.
I deny that.
And Holly Marshall.
Holly went away.
That's the story you give out. I know better.
I'm sorry, Jean-Paul. I thought Julian Desmond was here.
That's all right. He went downstairs.
Yes, well, I want to ask him about a book.
Just a minute. Ask her what happened to Agatha and Holly.
Leave Emily out of this.
No, Jean-Paul. Don't stop him. Go ahead. Ask me the questions you want me to answer.
All right. Do you know what happened to Annie Harrigan?
Who was she?
You met her the night she was here. I introduced her downstairs.
Oh, yes. The girl who was looking for a job. The one you seemed so eager to be rid of.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I was just trying to remember.
Emily, go back to your room.
No, Jean-Paul, let him get the spite out of his system. He's been hinting around for weeks about some hideous crime he thinks you've committed. Well, go on. What was it you were going to tell me about Annie Harrigan?
Did you know that Jean-Paul killed that girl?
I know he thinks he did.
She won't believe it until your hands are around her throat like Agatha Pruitt.
Agatha Pruitt drowned, as I remember.
What do you mean by that?
I also remember that you weren't here that night.
What do you mean?
And that you weren't here the night that Annie Harrigan died either, or the night the other woman died.
I was at Irene Hatter's. You can ask her.
Mrs. Hatter will no longer give you an alibi. You can go ask her yourself.
You then can't get anything on me. I didn't do it, and you know I didn't.
Do I? Let him go.
Emily, what are you doing? He didn't kill those girls.
It doesn't matter. He's a coward. He may not be guilty of their deaths, but he's certainly guilty of something. And with all this suspicion around, he won't be able to stay here. And after he's left hiding from his own fears, then we'll figure out what it was that actually happened. Oh, trust me, Jean-Paul. Your life and mine are one and the same now.
You're not leaving, are you?
Yes.
But you haven't said goodbye to Jean-Paul.
I don't want to see him.
Since you're not going to leave until you do, why not do it gracefully?
Laszlo, we've been waiting for you.
Well, you've got what you wanted. Since I married your mother, I'm leaving.
I have a few other things I want, too.
Court and I have decided that there are some things you should sign just as a precautionary measure.
What things?
Well, until we can have your marriage with Ada officially annulled, I think it would be safer for her to have you sign this statement, releasing her from any financial obligations to you.
You can't force me to do that.
Well, maybe we can't force you. But these newspaper clippings and medical reports of your wife's death might persuade you.
Does Ada know about this?
Court and I see that there is no real necessity to remind her of the mistake she made in marrying you, unless, of course, we have to.
All right, I'll sign it. Is that all?
Not quite. This is a statement confessing that you forged a suicide note and that you intended to kill her.
It's not true.
Tell him, Julian.
You were right, Laszlo. I did trick you into going to her. But I knew what you planned to do, and I forced you to play your hand.
Why do you want this confession?
For the police, if ever you're incautious enough to return to Desmond Hall.
May I go now, please?
Of course.
Before you go, a word of advice. Don't tempt fate, Laszlo. All over the world, there are many lonely and rich women. One day you will be caught, for what you are, but not here. I think this is the first time in hundreds of years that the Desmond men have united against an enemy.
I found the book.
What does it say?
Well, there's something here about a woman they call only La Comtesse Gabrielle.
Julian mentioned her name.
She had 2 sons. One was rumored to be the natural son of Louis XIV. The case was hushed up.
What was the case about?
Treason, apparently, involving witchcraft. The king had the records destroyed.
What happened to the Contessa's sons?
One left France. The other was never heard of again.
When did the trial take place?
Let me see. July 1682 is the last date mentioned. But listen to this. There's a description of an execution, not dated. The sun filled the square. The cathedral bells rang, and thousands of Parisians bustled about in anticipation of yet another burning at the stake.